AskReddit by Strakarak. What started out as an internet rumor that ended up being infamously true. I distinctly remember some rumors about the reason why Bruce Willis was taking so many roles in shitty movies before it was announced he has dementia. He also took a gig as the face of an Eastern European energy drink brand, which makes all the more sense now. Dang, it just saddens me. Dementia sucks. Rob Ford, years ago while mayor of Toronto, was rumored to be a crack user, and he was. I will never forget the live TV press conference where he said something like, "I never told that woman that I wanted to eat her pussy. I have plenty to eat at home." The Tim Burton Hansel and Gretel that aired once on Halloween in the 80s. I heard for years that it was fake, but I knew it was real because my dad recorded everything in the 80s and he recorded that. We let a good friend of ours borrow it and switch it over from VHS to DVD, and soon after that it made its way onto the internet, and there it is now. I know it's our copy because the tracking in the beginning is screwed up. Still have the VHS. OMG, this is sick, thank you. https://yahoo.be/fwacvneg?SISBYN0FIIDGNOL4. That North Korea hacked Sony Pictures because of the Interview movie. My partner worked on that movie and the production bought all the crew 1 year of our identity theft tracking service. This predates the internet, but there was always a rumor that you could jump over the flagpole in Super Mario Bros. Even as a kid in the 80s I thought it was bullshit. Turns out it's true, lol. Really? I spent entirely too much time in my youth trying to jump over that flagpole. You actually can? God, I am not gonna get the details of this right, but here's the broad strokes. Random dude is playing Xbox Live and overhears an NFL player talking to his agent about a trade. Posts it to the NFL subreddit and gets clowned. Trade is confirmed a few days later. Edit LMAO, how is this vaguely remembered story gonna be my most upvoted comment ever? Haha, I just read up on this. His wife was playing streaming on Twitch and a guy posted it on Reddit and said something about said player's wife talking on the phone about a trade. There were jokes for years about Bill Cosby being some sort of weirdo, an unwholesome man pretending to be wholesome. People made games about him beating people up by luring them in with pudding cups or outright being a sex pest. Turns out he was a serial rapist. Hannibal Buress kept trying to warn people. Ricky Martin's sexuality. I remember my mom made a comment about this in the late 90s early zeros. All those women are going to be so disappointed when they find out he's gay. I mean, those speedos clearly aren't for the ladies. Then, I remember that she kept insisting that he was gay whenever he came up as a topic. Mom, he's gay, BTW. Other person, no he's not, he's always seen with beautiful women. Mom, nah, you can just tell he's gay. I promise you, he's going to come out as gay sooner or later. Some banned episodes or scenes of cartoons. For example, I remember there was a Dexter's Lab cartoon where he clones evil versions of Dee Dee and himself and they swear like every other word, censored of course, and people debated whether it even existed cause they only aired it like once. Now it's pretty accessible online. There's an uncensored version of SpongeBob Sailor Mouth. Released Nickelodeon. Wasn't the Danny Masterson stuff all over the internet several years ago? People never mention that Melissa Joan Hart's biography also mentions her encounters when she was dating Danny when they were young. Something along the lines of she wore lots of layers to slow him down because of how unwanted aggressive he was. Her book was published in 2013. Echelon. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki echelon closed bracket comma a massive electronic espionage system by the US and allies to intercept all electronic messages, especially emails. In the mid-90s it was a topic on conspiracy BBS boards. A lot of people in my bubble at the time, mainly uni students in Europe, were including fake threats to the US in their email signatures as a way to protest and fill the system with false alarms, obviously useless. Then, in 1999 to 2000 came out to be true and a lot of security service agencies from UK and other US allies started to admit they were part of the espionage network. Thousands upon thousands of copies of the Atari ET game being buried in the desert. The thing is though, part of the story is still a myth. It wasn't just ET that was buried, and it wasn't because it was bad. There were lots of games in that landfill, including critically acclaimed ones. In the BBS days, during the Judas Priest subliminal message trial, there was a rumor that frontman Rob Halford was gay. It was the early 90s and not too believable at the time. Heck, even George Michael wasn't out yet. But now, Halford describes himself as the stately Homer of heavy metal. Who could have guessed that the singer of Hellbent for Leather was gay? That you can get Mew in Pokemon Red and Blue by following some incredibly specific and ridiculous set of actions which have nothing to do with catching a Pokemon and make no sense. It was obviously nonsense and could never actually work. And then someone found the Mew glitch, where you go to Route 25 and let the youngster there see you, but you pause the game and fly to Cerulean City on the frame before he comes into view. All your buttons will be disabled so you go back to the youngster and fight him again for real. Note that he has to walk up to you. If the engagement happens without him walking it won't work. This restores your controls. Then you fly to Lavender Town and open the menu once. Then you walk to Route 8 and the menu will open itself. When you close the menu, you'll enter a battle against Mew. I still wonder how these glitch hunters do it, like what the fuck? Also I literally just commented who started the Mew under the truck rumor on another thread and thought I was being sucked into the Reddit Truman Show. John Edwards' love child. A reminder that he was cheating on his wife while she was hospitalized for cancer treatment. Diddy has had a long history and reputation for his behavior for ages before everything started hitting the fan. I'm talking decades. Deleted. Carrie Fisher's heart attack. Some arsehole who was on the same flight was live tweeting the whole medical emergency and justified it by insisting she was just making sure the family was informed. That is so messed up. For the Brits. Jimmy Savile. They knew about it long before the internet. It was the worst kept secret in the industry. Back in the 70s Johnny Rotten did an interview, I can't remember with who, calling out the industry for harboring sex criminals and pedophiles. They never released the interview and Johnny was banged by the BBC. He was talking specifically about Jimmy Savile but wouldn't name his name because he knew better. Edit, correction, he named Savile directly. Thanks to you Shelk for posting the link below. Josh Duggar's crimes. There was actually an infamous Sarah right equals 86,758,513,596 and amp web redirect equals true on some random Duggar focused blog post from 15 years ago by a woman named Alice who went into detail on Josh's crimes, including the fact that the family filmed an Oprah segment that never aired after her production team found out about the police report. I remember reading about it on Freejinger, a Duggar snark site, at least a decade ago. But nothing official ever came out about it, so most people assumed it wasn't true, or at least was very exaggerated. Edit, typo. In 2005 Courtney Love knew about Harvey Weinstein long before the news broke. Nobody listened to her because she was always on drugs. She was asked on a red carpet interview about advice for young Hollywood, or something, and she said something like, should I say it? If Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party at the Four Seasons Hotel, don't go. Eater. Clip at about the 30 mark. https://m.youtube.com/watch?vemdh4xei-4kq . She had a decent acting career before that too, her most notable role being in The People vs Larry Flynt. It never really took off though, and I strongly believe it was because of this comment. Courtney may not be the most likable person, but damn did she go through a lot. Josh Duggar was mentioned on some forums not too long after he and his family got their TV show. The Sesame Street short cracks. Probably not exactly what you're looking for, but still interesting. Unfortunately, what Josh Duggar did to his sisters. There was a comment on a post about the Duggars on a fairly popular Duggar blog in the comments section that gave pretty exact details almost a decade or so before In Touch got the actual police reports and broke the story widely and publicly. The possibility of what happened had been discussed in conjunction with a lot of use of the word allegedly in internet forums related to the Duggars and Christian fundamentalism for years before it was confirmed because of that post. I often really wonder who made that comment, because it wasn't a guess, it had way too many correct details to be a guess, and it was really only that post they ever commented on. Apparently it was Bob Iholt's mother, she's since passed away. Josh had been courting Bob I's daughter at one point. Jesse Slaughter was telling the truth about Davey Vanity the whole time. That the writer of Lost were making it up as they went. Turned out to be absolutely true. Should have gone for the Dungeon Master career. I remember seeing rumors about Kevin Spacey on Tumblr before everything came out. I think it was around 2013-15. The post was talking about how he was secretly gay, and that back in his hometown he was known for always spending time with young men. I told my friends about it cause we were big House of Cards fans, and none of them believed me. Then it all came out a few years later. That Jerry Falwell Jr. enjoyed his wife hooking up with the pool boy. When he died, Christopher Hitchens appeared on a US news network to discuss the life of Falwell. As the other, more conservative guests were collectively fawning over the horrible bastard, Hitchens piped in with the amazing line, "If you'd have given him an enema you could have buried him in a matchbox." One of my favorite TV moments of all time. Before the internet, there were persistent rumors that Steve McQueen, the white one, had terminal cancer, and later that Rock Hudson and Freddie Mercury had AIDS, rumors that all of them denied. All of those rumors turned out to be true. Britney Spears' abusive conservatorship. The "leave Britney alone" dude was so right and was mercilessly mocked. I hope that he is okay. Also Britney. A private island where people fuck kids. In the civil suits against the big banks, Epstein victims claimed that the NY residence was the primary base of operations for the sex work, rape. It was rare that the victims would work out of state. By the way, the banks immediately settled these lawsuits for hundreds of millions. Dan Schneider. Though we don't know exactly what all has happened, I think there was always whispers on the internet because of the obsession with feet on his shows. I bet more will come out about him someday. Because of all the fake death notices, no one believed at first that Paul Walker had actually died. The wholesome family-oriented dude from Try Guys cheating on his wife with his co-worker, who was engaged in a 8-year-long relationship. The ironic part is he was always imposing himself as a perfect family dude with Christian morals. I think the online vitriol was extra strong because the dude had branded himself as the wholesome family man. If a youtuber like let's say Jake Paul cheated on his partner, people wouldn't really be shocked since Jake is a dick. But when a guy who seems so nice on the outside turns out to be a pose, it's a lot more jarring. Anyway, it seems somehow his wife found a way to forgive him, probably for the sake of their kids, and they've been spotted together as a family several times as of late. He definitely ruined his online reputation though. In 2010, Joaquin Phoenix infamously announced that he was quitting his acting career for good and becoming a rapper. No one believed it, and so many people on the internet said it was just a performance for a mockumentary movie. And he then later released a mockumentary movie about it and admitted it was all a gag, to the surprise of no one. I wonder if he was serious or that one was taking it seriously and decided to make it a gag lol. Massive online surveillance by the government. Started off with 5 eyes, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/5_eyes_, then total information awareness, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/information_awareness_office and went on from there, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Edward_Snowden https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/file:/io-logo.png. How is this the actual real logo they decided to go with? I remember stumbling upon detailed accounts from several teenage boys and young men who had been sexually assaulted by Kevin Spacey while browsing a no they didn't on LiveJournal in the mid-2000s. By the time he was finally outed as a sexual predator, in 2017, I had lost pretty much all interest in celebrity and entertainment news a little over a decade earlier, so I was genuinely surprised to learn that it hadn't been reported on sooner. On the upside, since I had assumed that people mostly knew and didn't really care all that much, the outrage that ensued restored some of my faith in humanity. Edit. Speaking of surprises, I just realized that both LiveJournal and ONTD are still up and running. Damn, I really am out of the loop. A guy flying in a lawn chair suspended by weather balloons. Hilaria Baldwin is Hillary from Boston and was pretending to be a poor immigrant from Spain who warmed her hands on a laptop because she had no heat in her apartment versus she attended an expensive private school and lived in a multi-million-dollar home growing up. There were rumors and whispering for years, and one cold December day in 2020 it all blew open. The next thing to break open will be when everyone realizes that no, she wasn't pregnant and giving birth to 7 kids, slimming down 2 days later, she's just been strapping a prosthetic stomach to her, which often collapses, folds over, or she just plain forgets to put it on from day to day, while still documenting her every move. She would hashtag herself shrinking baby bump while she was still pregnant because she knew as soon as she removes her moon bump, she slimmed down, while giving extremely harmful pregnancy and postpartum advice that could actually harm a mother and her fetus. Eater, https://www.reddit.com/r/Hilaria Baldwin/comments/Hilaria_Baldwin_wife_Alec_Baldwin_fake/ I remember seeing Kevin Spacey shit on Family Guy in like 2005. Oh yeah. I remember Stewie running across a mall naked yelling help, I just escaped Kevin Spacey's basement or something like that. Not so much a rumor, but the black community was fully aware of R. Kelly's nonsense, and if you count Aaliyah, which you should, so was the rest of the world. I specifically remember watching a bootleg copy of the infamous, highly illegal video when I was about 10/11 and at a friend's apartment in the ghetto. When everything came out a few years back, I was aghast that people were shocked, as it was never a secret. Age ain't nothing but a number. Being recorded when she was 14 still has me absolutely disgusted. It's horrible what she must have gone through. From the Newlywed Game. Bob, what is the strangest place that you have ever made whoopee? Olga, in the ass. It was thought to be an urban legend for many years, and then the tape resurfaced. The secret cow level in Diablo. It was added to Diablo 2, retrospectively transforming the internet rumor into a prophecy. Honestly, the cow level was amazing. Bill Cosby. The recent murders in Moscow, Idaho. There was an internet rumor that seemed unlikely that one of the surviving roommates had heard the attacks, watched the murderer leave and then went back into her room and slept for 8 hours, with no one calling 911 until early the next afternoon. Seemed unlikely but turned out to be true. Didn't they say she was in shock? Just before the pandemic hit, there was running joke online about plagues in 1920 and 1820 and that there would be one in 2020. Or just the no longer funny joke of we need a new plague that everyone loved. Clinton cheating with Monica. I'm amazed this isn't higher. It was the Og internet rumor and why Drudge Report is what it is today. Strong second place contenders, Little Green Footballs outing the CBS memo and the Tic Tac video. Steve-O was banned from Terrebonne Parish, BC. He stapled his balls to his leg. Deleted. That there was this stupid thing called a torrent that let you bypass the need for crap like Napster and LimeWire, and there was no way to stop it, and that soon everything that ever was would be in a torrent and you could just download it for free. Once I figured it out, thanks Demonoid, I sent the dude who invented that a nice little sum from my PayPal account. Demonoid is a name I haven't heard in a long time. Cassie was abused for 10+ years when she was with Puffy, and his assistant, Capricorn Clark, was her minder. The whole Cassie thing is peak shocked, but not surprised. Usually when reading gossip fora, it's a good idea to discount the most fantastical rumors and take wish casting exaggeration into account. The accounts were still consistent enough, and across time partners, I was suspecting something like physically and emotionally abusive, but not everything alleged about his relationships to apply to Cassie, including straight up sexual torture. And he settled in 31 hours, so we know it was worse than alleged. The stuff about Louis C.K. was floating around the internet for years before it all blew up. Same with Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein was known. There are even jokes about it on 30 Rock.